Welcome back. David Hertel in for Elias. Well, office vacancy rates could approach 25% by the end of next year, with most office tenants who are currently renewing their leases cutting the space by 10 to 20% on average. The change comes as employers attempt to minimize their footprint and new buildings are popping up. Greater Montreal has about 110 million square feet of leasable office space available right now. And that amount is only set to increase with time. To tell us more and understand the consequences of this very, very negative situation, Terry Kilakos, the host of the Real Estate Show on CJAD 800. He's a real estate broker with Northeast Real Estate and Mortgage Agency firm. Terry, always a pleasure.
Hey, David. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I can't complain.
My goodness, how's business?
It's good.
It's still good?
It's so good. We're so busy.
Okay, well, tell me about this vacancy. I mean, Montreal is suffering, downtown is suffering, and it's not the only major city in North America that's going through this, obviously, but, I mean, what do you make of this vacancy rate?
I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I think that the numbers might be a little bit exaggerated. I don't believe it'll hit 25% by 2024. But there is a huge imbalance right now in the workforce. Employees do have the upper hand. Employers are, constantly, kind of being, arms twisting to get employees to allow employees to work from home still. And it's because there's not a lot of people in the workforce right now. During COVID, there was a lot of people that took retirement. Some people became students. Others decided to become self-employed. And those, things are not helping matters. I think that by the end of 2024, hopefully we'll start seeing more people coming into the workforce, thus actually giving employers back that kind of upper hand a little bit, and forcing people to come back to work. I think that, by the time we get into 2024, it's also going to become a little bit more, socially acceptable for companies to force employees back to work. So it remains to be seen. What I'm worried about is that across the board, a lot of companies, now that, their terms are coming up for maturity of their rental space, they're actually cutting space. And in some cases, it's as high as, 20% a month. So that trend, I think that if it continues, it's going to bring us to a point where, yes, we will see vacancy rates go up. Like I said, I don't think we'll see it as high as 25%, but it will go up it'll get worse before it gets better, that's for sure.
So for the real estate business on the commercial side, what does this all mean?
It's tough. I mean, landlords, though, are sticking to their guns. The prices of the rent have not really come down. In some cases, the price of rent has gone up, especially when we're talking about industrial space, which is not really the same type of market as office space. Industrial space is at a premium right now. The vacancy rates are next to nil. Good luck finding basically an industrial space. But when we're talking about office space, the landlords are suffering. Even, but they're not adjusting the rents. They're not bringing them down. They are giving more incentives, however, to tenants. They're doing a little bit more leasehold improvements and whatnot. But it remains to be seen what's going to happen over the next couple of years.
I'm going to move on now. Big news this morning. The Bank of Canada, after staying at 4.5% basically since the beginning of the year, has increased its rate 25 basis points to 4.75, 4.75%. Terry, that has many repercussions on the real estate market, both individual and commercial. I mean, how do you see this playing out?
So the first people that are going to be obviously impacted, it's going to be people that have variable rate mortgages and lines of credit, whether it's personal lines of credit or home lines of credit. If the banks follow suit and increase the prime rate accordingly with what the Bank of Canada did, we're going to see payments go up across the board. And this in a time when, inflation is still high. You go to a grocery store, you spend $100 and you walk out with, milk, eggs, and, a couple of other things. I don't think that it was necessary for the Bank of Canada to do what they did today. Inflation numbers didn't really move, and the Bank of Canada actually did make mention of that last month when the new inflation numbers came up. They went up slightly, and they even said that this little kind of blip is nothing really to.
Oh, we lost Terry. That was very interesting. We hope to get him back because this is a surprise. But again, the Canadian economy is still very robust. I mean, jobs are still being created. Yes, inflation is slowing down, but not that much. So there is something to be said about continuing to try to slow down the economy. Terry's back on. Terry,
sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens. That's live radio. What can I say?
Yeah.
But Terry, I have about a couple of minutes left. But what I want to get to with this, I like you, it's a bit of a surprising move by the Bank of Canada, but it shows that the economy is still very robust here in Quebec and in Canada. And inflation may not be slowing down, and employment is still solid. So maybe it was about we still need to slow down and try for a softer landing here.
Yeah, my only concern is that they raised it now, and I was anticipating an increase in the policy rate in the summer. Okay, so right now we're in June. There's another announcement that's going to happen in July. That's when I was actually expecting them to raise it by 0.25. But they actually raised it now, which concerns me a little bit because now I'm worried that come July, they're actually going to increase it again because before they take the summer break, and then the next one after that would be in September. So this is something that, if we see two consecutive increases occur, so if they do it now and then they do it again next month, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
For example, anyone that has a variable rate mortgage.
Yeah, the renewals, everything, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But even when we're looking at people that had fixed payments on their variable rate, right now they're sitting with amortization periods. In some cases, they're at 60, 70, 80 years. I saw a client recently. He had a 104-year amortization period. That's what it was set at. Because, when he got his original mortgage, it was set up with, a ridiculously low rate on the variable, and the bank never increased those payments. So it's ludicrous. I think that, people need to kind of look at their budget and see what they could afford to pay extra if they're in a situation like that. You don't want to find yourself at renewal time, going into it and finding out that you have an amortization that's 100 years, right?
Sure.
Speak to someone, speak to your banker, speak to your mortgage broker. We're always here. I mean, we service a lot of the community, and
Terry, what I'd like to do, if you're available, I'd like to bring you back on next week to maybe talk about different strategies depending on your situation.
Definitely,
what would be
absolutely.
I think a lot of us would be helped by, what do you do? If you're up for renewing your mortgage, depending on different situations, what's the best game plan to adopt here?
Absolutely. I would be honored.
Okay. Well, I'm honored as always. Great
Great
conversation. Thank you for the time, Terry.
Absolutely. Be well.
Be well. Terry Kilakos, host of the Real Estate Show on CJAD 800, a real estate broker with Northeast Real Estate and Mortgage Agency firm.